Hello there, my name is Laura Alameri, and I wanted to spend a few minutes to talk about the elephant in the room here as far as comes to real estate. We talk about at the end of the year, there is always a forecast, provision, what's going on in 2021, what's going on next year, but we don't really take a moment to observe what has been happening over this past year with real estate, because it has been such a crucial time of changes, and in a positive way, believe it or not, as far as real estate is concerned. I always say that when something major happens, there is this huge reset button that makes us think as a society and reevaluate our priorities. And this has happened also with real estate. Okay, so it's been like this huge social experiment over the last year about testing people on what they are wanting to do, what they wanting to do, what is the important matters in their life. Because think about it, just a year ago, everybody was running back and forth, and it seems like we had no time to do anything. Let's spend less time than ever at home, where now, just a few months later, everything has changed. But as far as real estate is concerned, actually there has been a big boost in real estate over this last year, and not only in appreciation, but also in the whole business as investment in a whole. And I'm going to go over here a little more in detail what I talk about. So the first thing that's happened with everything that happened in 2020 is the fact that we had no choice but to work remotely. So a lot of us had to work from home for a while. Then we went back into the offices, but it was never the same, right? Even in an office environment, we realized that we're probably the only ones there. In the office buildings, they're half empty. People tend to work at home because a lot of the companies actually gave a choice to people to work from home or going into an office. So a lot of people are still afraid of what's going on out there. And let's face it, a lot of people also got comfortable in working at home, right? So this is going to definitely change the world as far as how working is going to be considered. People, even the new construction, will have to take in considerations that people will want a home office, and telecommuting is going to become a norm. So that's going to be really a big factor that I don't see that changing. Actually, that's going to be a new way of doing things that is going to improve. It's going to change real estate as a landscape. As far as office buildings, most of them are going to be not as busy. So a lot of the space would have to be repurposed for other things, maybe into apartments, maybe into areas where there's more like living and working in the same building, which is a trend that started really in the 70s, but it never really caught on. But I think now is really, the world is ready for something like that. And again, with new construction, now, developers and architects will have to take in consideration that we need this extra room to work from home. A lot of people are going to look to build that, even if they work for a company, they can work remotely. So those are things that have happened. Then the other things that happen is that working virtually and remotely made us consider more using different type of tools and technology, which also gave us an insight about how we can manage our time better. We realized that a lot of the things we took for granted, that we had to go there in person, as far as real estate, viewing properties, getting bids, getting, all kind of managing teams, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be done remotely. So that's the other thing. And so we need tools and technology being around, especially for real estate, but now it's really, really getting a lot of attention, and they're going to be becoming even better. So this year was really the pivoting year for a lot of people interested in developing tools and technologies for real estate. Then now they're really overworking as far as getting these technologies and tools in places of real estate agents, of brokers, of investors, and so forth. Now, the other thing that is then considering that people realize time management, how important it is, how they can work more efficiently and do more in less time, how these tools and technology can actually improve them. It's not like they're taking work away from them, but they can actually improve in their performance. And at the same time, we have discovered, I know I have as a real estate investor, inefficiency into my systems, right? So I said, okay, I've been doing this way, I've been comfortable with the process, but now I realize I can do this better. I don't have to physically, that's why virtual real estate investing has really taken a step forward and doing things and say, we don't have to be there in person. Even the society does not encourage us to be there in person. Actually, they encourage us not to be there in person because of social distancing. So at the same token, I've seen sellers and buyers and lenders and title company, all these different players in the real estate game, that now they're comfortable with the idea of doing things virtually, where before there was a lot of person-to-person contact. So at the same time, we have discovered inefficiency into the system that now we can correct. And there are definitely tools and technology, and also ourselves, our own mindset, in helping us to determine what the inefficiencies out there. Now, the other thing is because of in a good way, in a way, it's been really good for our economy this year as well, because we have not traveled as much, right? Internationally, especially. We have not outpoured money out of the country because we really, we were homebound, right? We were here in the United States and even confined to our own state and a lot of states. So what happened is there's been a shift on how people purchase, how people invest. A certain industry like the boat industry, the RV industry actually have had a huge boost, 400-500% increase in sales. And so the money has been outpouring in. For the same token, that because of the interest rates dropping at an all-time low, a lot of people realize that it's cheaper buying than renting. Right? So there has been a lot of influx of new buyers, and that's why it has shown that the inventory has been shrinking. So all of this actually has increased the economy and boosted the economy in 2020 as far as real estate is concerned, or even in our commodities. Now, some businesses have suffered, unfortunately, and the way that they can do this is reinvent themselves, right? I mean, if you have a brick and mortar business or restaurant or anything like that, how can I continue my business but service the public that now is not going to the brick and mortar store or is not going to the restaurant, and really keep the money rolling? But as far as real estate is concerned, it's definitely been increasing because the low mortgage rates, a lot of new buyers. We already seen new buyers entering the market with the millennials, but now it's really being revamped this year and it's moving forward. We don't foresee interest rates going up that much next year, so it's still going to create a lot of demand for real estate because, like I said, it's cheaper to buy than rent right now. And so that's what is going to create is a new demand for housing. So anybody that wants to be fix and flip and fix up properties and also building new properties is going to have a huge demand. Now, keeping in mind the clever rehabber, flipper, or construction need to remember what I said in the beginning. The mentality is shifting, especially with the new generation. They see the possibility of not having to go to an office into work. And so when you build up these places, like we had these home shows, building, the perfect house, now definitely consideration has to be done to have a home office because of a specific trend. So these are really things that have shifted here in 2020. It brought us to a new realization on how we can conduct our business and how it can even be better. And it gave us more time now to do other things in our life instead of just commuting to work or being into this frenzy, or also feeling like we had to be in person to do a lot of things that can be definitely delegated out, or it can be done in a virtual setting. So this is getting you to think in the right direction, seeing 2020 not a bad year altogether. It's been an unprecedented year. Nobody saw it coming. So, when we did the provisions at the end of 2019 for 2020, we didn't know what was happening, right? And now is looking back and say, okay, This has been a crazy year, right? But it also has brought a lot of awareness on how we can change our business as real estate investor, and it's going to help us to actually exponentially grow our business in the future year. So hopefully this was helpful, gave you different insights, and take care. And please don't forget to make any comments underneath this video. I welcome any feedback and any insight or any ideas that you have. And also don't forget to visit my website and download. I have free ebook and resources there for you to download to build up your real estate business. Take care.